I don't really care about sports. Sorry if there are any big sports fans, but I bet a lot of you agree with me. I don't really care about sports. I mean, the only sports I actually kind of care about are basketball, which is like racist, and then the WWE, which isn't even a sport. But if you don't know, I grew up in Belgium, which is in Europe. And when you're in Europe, you have to like football. Okay, this isn't technically a football jersey, but this reminds me of home, so eat my ass. However, even though I love football as a Belgian, if it's not the World Cup in a room full of my peers and family with beers, I actually don't care. Unless it is football in a cartoon, then I love it. Today's video is about football cartoons, ole! Hey storytellers, Chillixion here, back from the bathroom because I just changed my shirt. And today, we're gonna be talking about football and animation. But I know a lot of you guys who are cartoon or anime fans also don't like sports. So you may be asking, what's a football? Okay, you're not stupid. Everyone knows what football is, right? It's one of the most popular sports in the world. It is a very simple sport where on a field there's 11 players and two teams are fighting against each other. Two teams of 11 players are kicking a ball amongst each other, and then they're trying to get goals. There are different positions. There's forward, midfielder, defense, goalie, other ones. Everyone understands football. You may not know the details, but everyone understands the general concept. Now, a much better YouTuber would proceed to give you the history of football, like where it came from and its origins, and maybe like the first ever cartoon that has football in it. But I'm not that YouTuber, so you're not gonna get that, I'm sorry. However, I am gonna tell you my personal history of football. Actually, I have two specific stories. The first is that, obviously I did grow up in Belgium. If you didn't know this, yeah, despite me not having any sort of accent, I mean, would it sound more natural? The videos are like this. Hello everyone, storytellers! Welcome to a brand new Chillixion video. Would you guys like it if the videos were like that? Comment down below if you would like that. Yeah, I grew up there, and it's a European country, and they fucking love football. Like, I remember when I was in like parks and like in my middle school years, like I would get hit in the face with footballs often, which sounds funny, but don't you dare fucking laugh, cause that shit hurt. Like, imagine just like walking, like chilling, like you're just living the fucking time of your life. You're a little kid, everything's fucking happy, you don't have to worry about Trump. Anyway, you're walking in this park, and suddenly at like the highest velocity possible, a large like rubber ball hits you in the face. That hurts. So yeah, I didn't really like football as a kid. No reason. But I do remember that in my elementary school, I never got hit with footballs, but that's because we had no money. So instead the kids would empty out water bottles and then roll them up and then put the cap on, and then they would kick that around, and then they would play football. But yeah, soccer is easily the most popular sport in the world. Everyone knows soccer, even though in the United States, soccer isn't all that popular. Because we have American football, which I still call American football, even though I interchange soccer and football all the time in my head. But yeah, in America, the sport's not popular that much. But like, I don't know, I mean, do they have leagues? If they do, put them on screen show. Thank you. Just gave myself more work. Go fuck yourself. Chillixion is a crazy YouTuber. He has beef with himself through the screen. But yeah, it's extremely popular. And therefore, there are a lot of stories about it. And in my opinion, genuinely, soccer is low-key the best sport for storytelling. Like, it not only has the kinetic action that we desire from like action movies, just because it is a sport that demands constant running like a lot of sports do, but like physical action with the kicking of the ball. Like, it gets intense and it gets aggressive. But I'll say it doesn't get too intense and too aggressive, because there are people that like don't like too much violence. Like, some people don't like football because it gets super aggressive, and some people don't like rugby because rugby is made for supervillains. And if you love rugby, I know you're not mad, because you are taking that as a compliment because you are sick. Yeah, it has all this movement and kinetic motion that we desire from, you know, visual storytelling mediums, but it also has like the team aspect, which, you know, camaraderie, community, themes of togetherness, themes of family. These are stuff that, you know, a lot of the best stories in the world have. And soccer typically allows like large casts, like you have the 11 on the field, but then whoever is benched, and, you know, people come in and out of teams. And I think that the popularity of soccer, and therefore the knowledge of the positions and stuff, just makes it easier for people to jump into a soccer story, even if they like know nothing about soccer. Like, you know, there's a goalie. Like, that's simple. I genuinely don't know what a linebacker does. I have no idea. Not one clue. I'm so serious. And talking about football, I know it's almost football season, and I don't actually hate football. Football's fine. But it's just really boring to me. And that's my issue with it. I think there's a lot of time that is just waiting. And if you love football, please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But for me, it feels like it's a lot of waiting. Isn't it like hours of waiting? Like, if you count all the waiting in a football game, it is like hours of just them doing nothing. That's horrific. I can't do that. In soccer, the rules are very simple. I mean, you know, you kick the ball, you can't use your hands, you gotta get a goal, you can't hurt people, and you can't go out of bounds. It's pretty simple. It feels like with every other sport, there's always like some other crazy rules, or the foundations of the rules are a little complicated. Like, they all feel like offshoots, so it's a bit complex. That's not to say that other sports don't have great stories. I mean, I love nothing really, Air Bud. There are other stories from other sports that are good, okay? But the soccer is just some of the best ones. And in my opinion, I think we need to appreciate soccer more as a sport within animation, okay? We need to understand why it works. And we need some good examples, because I don't think you believe me, viewer. Do you believe me? Huh? You don't? Asshole? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you an asshole. I wanna sincerely apologize. We're friends, right? We're friends. We're gonna move on from this. We're gonna grow, okay? I love you, okay? I love you. But anyway, in this insane video, I'm gonna be talking about some of my favorite soccer shows in animation. So let's begin. Unless like I do one of those stupid ad breaks again.
We'll be right back with more Chillixion.
Blue card! Yeah, mother, I saw you. You about to skip. You about to skip. I saw what you were about to do. Y'all aren't slick. I know y'all skipped this part of the video. So now you have a penalty. You have a Vegapunk. That's bad. So we're gonna need to kick you out of the game, okay? This is the equivalent of like snapping a player's shin in half, right? If you want to get out of it though, I have a solution. Click that like button. Explosion! Yes, I got you again, haha. Thank you for not skipping. But jokes aside, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you're currently enjoying, why don't you click that like button? It helps support the channel and lets me know that you guys want more content just like this. The like goal for today is gonna be 50 likes. Yeah, we can hit it. 50 likes. Support the content, support the creator. It lets me know that you guys want to see more, you know, general analysis about animation, which I will definitely love to make. I had a great time making this video, so yeah, anyway, thank you, but let's continue the video.
Welcome back for more Chillixion.
Inazuma 11. I've made a video about this show before. It's actually my most popular video ever. But if you somehow haven't seen that video, I'm just gonna talk about it now because it's been years and I still love this show. Inazuma 11 is an anime from like 2008. It's based on a DS game by Level 5, the soccer RPG of the same name, Inazuma 11. And the anime is just the story of the RPG, but an animation. It's the story of Endo Mamoru, or if you watch the English dub, like apparently so many of you have, Mark Evans. I'm not an English dub hater, but it is worse. And the story of him becoming essentially the greatest soccer player of all time. Season 1 is just them going through a usual tournament and, you know, becoming a good team after being kind of shitty. Season 2, aliens appear. This is where people usually leave, and I have to stop talking because there's no one to talk to. But there are aliens kind of in season 2. In season 3, it's a world tournament. A lot of people ask, that feels like an odd jump back to reality. It's not. And then it has like a bunch of spin-offs, but I'm just here to talk about the original series. Inazuma 11 is amazing. It uses the teamwork of soccer to its greatest advantage. I think the best thing about Inazuma 11 is genuinely its cast of characters. Yeah, its plot's silly and its action is super duper fun and hype, but its cast is insane, right? Because I'm currently doing sort of a rewatch. I'm technically just watching a guy watch Inazuma 11. Shout out to this dude. I hope you're still watching it by the time this video comes out. But I'm doing a rewatch through his videos. And it's insane how quickly they get you to legitimately really like these characters. Like by episode 3, we already kind of care about Somioka, but that's because it's sort of like a skill tree of character development. We start with Endo, and then Endo has interest in certain characters, but we don't know much about any of them. And through learning more about Endo, eventually that gets to Goenji. And through learning more about Goenji, eventually that gets to Somioka. And by learning more about Somioka, that goes to Kabayama, and then it goes on forever and ever and ever. They usually have these moments of character development with a specific match or a specific like move that has to be done in a match. Like it's seen that usually they will have like one character or like two characters in a match that have to like do something extra and grow physically that ties to their emotional growth. Like a character has to learn a new Hisatsu, or a character has to learn how to work together with his teammates or whatever. And if that part of the development isn't done with that character by the end of the episode, it usually finishes by the end of the next episode, unless it's one of the many season-long arcs. But Inazuma 11 decides to immediately give you very small pairings and then slowly expanding, instead of giving you every single pairing at the beginning, like some shows we will talk about later. But the other thing I love about Inazuma 11 is the hype, the animation, the special moves, the action, the matches, whatever you want to call it. The hype of the show is probably one of its best aspects. Like it uses sports and anime tropes to its best advantage. Like characters are always doing the most like anime nonsense and like typical thing that you would probably expect, but they do it to the best of their ability, and that is really charming to me. Like yes, there's going to be an antagonistic school, but they aren't just antagonistic. They are rolling up on like a giant like industrial metal tank and then have students like saluting in like a very fascist way, sort of like a certain tech billionaire we know. Oops. And they do all this intensity like even with the moves. Like it's not just a kick, it's a special technique, it's a fire tornado, it's a dragon crash, it is a god hand. And I think that's why so many people love Inazuma 11, because it is so silly and it is so ridiculous and it just revels in it. And I don't think it would be as successful if it was basketball, for example. Like I don't know, it's just something about all of these moves being kicks that is like very intense. Like yes, a basketball shoot, sorry. I think I just maybe showed how little I know about basketball. But like, there's only so many ways that you can like do this, like in a stylized fashion. But in the kicks, they're so creative and they're so intense. In my mind, I'm like, what other sport could this have been? Like, Haikyuu's probably good. Like, I don't think it's doing this. And no other show has me strategizing for the games. Like, I don't understand that much about football, but when I see like the lineups they have, I am constantly criticizing their choices. And I find that when I'm right, I feel satisfied. Like, let's just get Honda out of the team. Kick him out. Why is he here? He's no one's friend. He can't play. Why is he here? But yeah, I love Inazuma 11. It is probably one of the best like soccer things I've ever seen. Originally I was like, oh, this is like ironic enjoyment, but no, I really love this show, even if it's not like, you know, as intellectually taxing as like other shows I watch. Like, it's still super fun. I love it all the same. And if you want to watch me talk about this for way longer, please check out my Inazuma 11 video. And if you guys like this video, I might make more Inazuma 11 videos. But you know, something that isn't Inazuma 11 but is slightly related is another manga, Blue Lock. If you don't know what Blue Lock is, Blue Lock was described by one of my friends as soccer Squid Game. The premise is that Blue Lock is essentially a facility where a bunch of teenagers train to be the world's greatest striker. And if they fail at certain tasks, they will get kicked out of the program and cannot compete competitively for life. So essentially entering this program like signs your chance of ever being a professional player away. And that premise alone is already super interesting, but I think what it does best is aggression. When I watched Inazuma 11, my favorite characters would always be the ones that were super aggressive, super just nasty to other players, and were like super prideful. And Blue Lock is filled with characters like that because it is necessary. In football, shit gets aggressive. Football players are egotistical, and if you watch a football game, both how the fans act and how the players act, it can get honestly super disrespectful. Just like listen to any UK soccer chant. They are mean. But yeah, Blue Lock captures a side of football that Inazuma 11 just doesn't, and that is the absolute aggression and heat of passion that comes with competition and comes with sport. Because Inazuma 11 is mostly focused on camaraderie, it is mostly focused on community, it is mostly focused on good people doing good things and like found family and, you know, becoming the best with your friends. Going solo isn't typically, you know, viewed as a good thing in Inazuma 11. And obviously Blue Lock is aiming to a version of the idea of being the best alone with like support systems and stuff, but it is still not the full-blown you need friendship to be the best type of story. Blue Lock feels real to anyone who's like been in a competitive environment. Even though I'm not super into sports, I love competitive Smash Bros, right? And I'm not the best at it. I'm not even like probably top anything anywhere, right? But I feel that same passion when I play Smash Bros in a competitive way. I'm also a musician, and rap is extremely competitive, and I feel that same passion with rap. Honestly, it makes me want to immediately go back and, you know, go full into rapping sometimes when I get really passionate. But Blue Lock covers that in such an amazing way in its writing, and I think it uses like soccer to its advantage just because soccer is so well known for that sort of egotistical, like passionate, like character. The only other like sport I can think of that's close is like basketball, and honestly the WWE, even though it's not a real sport again. And I know Invincible Fight Girl is technically a show about wrestling, but like imagine like a show about wrestling where like there were like real heels and stuff. Pussy. And I'm gonna say this, Blue Lock's manga is easily more hype than anything Inazuma 11 could come up with because of the quality of the illustrations. But this video is called Soccer in Animation, and Blue Lock's anime is kind of lacking. Season 1 was animated pretty well, but a majority of Season 2 was sort of lacking. I know people said slideshow lock, and some people were exaggerating sometimes, but it wasn't great, especially for such a kinetic sport like soccer. It's crazy how the manga conveys more emotion than the anime, when the anime is actually supposed to be moving. And if I stayed ignorant to the rest of Blue Lock Season 2, I would be saying, yeah, Blue Lock's anime was meh, moving on. But that's not true, because Rin's flow state was one of the best animated things I've ever seen related to Blue Lock. Like, it is one of the best animated football things I've ever seen, period. Like, it's so beautiful, but was it worth all of this? I don't really think it's worth it. I would be okay with Blue Lock having the same animation quality as something like Inazuma 11, and we never got like a Sakuga Fest, just because there are so many moments in the Blue Lock manga that require like the utmost care, and you can't just give it to like one scene when there are 10 scenes that deserve it. But who knows, maybe in the 3rd season they will improve it, and then every single scene is gonna look absolutely beautiful, and then Kaiser is going to look gorgeous. I haven't read Blue Lock in a while. I don't know, do we still like Kaiser? Actually, if you want to watch me read Blue Lock, then you should check out my streams live on YouTube every single
Thursday at 7 p.m. PST.
Anyway, moving on to the next cartoon, and yes, a cartoon that actually started this video. Galactik Football. I have not said that on mic in a while, and that felt weird. If you don't know what Galactik Football is, don't worry, you're not alone. Galactik Football is not a popular cartoon. It was not even a cartoon released in most of the world, I think. I watch Galactik Football because I grew up in Belgium, and it was a French cartoon. Normally here is where I would talk about the production of the show, but there's not much information on it. I tried asking the Reddit what the production origin of the show was, and someone just told me the lore, and then 7 other people proceeded to say, well, that was funny, and then not answer my question. So who knows who made it? I don't know. Hatsune Miku. Hatsune Miku made Galactik Football. But the story of Galactik Football is basically in a long time in the future in a galaxy far, far away. There are a bunch of planets and they all play football together. They're all under like a galactic United Nations, and they're just as politically fucked up as the real one. But they all play football in this sort of weird 3D dimension where they use this energy called the flux. And this is essentially soccer magic. It's like key or life energy that they can use to play soccer and hit good, and it gives all of them like unique powers based on their alien race. Well, actually more like based on the flux they have, because I guess any race can get any flux. But anyway, there's a whole Galactic Football Cup, there's a Galactic Society and stuff, and our story follows Arch, who is a current coach but previous Galactic Football player whose original team, the Snow Kids, is that even their name actually? I don't even know. Okay, it's not their name, but they were just a team on the planet Chillixion, which is like Snow World for humans. Well, now it's Snow World. It wasn't Snow World before. The bomb, never forget. But Arch, returns to Achillion and wants to start a new football team so that, they can get the Galactic Football Cup and restore, football's pride and honor to the planet Achillion. And we follow this entire team of galactic teenagers, and it's essentially a soap opera with football as the main gimmick, and also like there's space politics and like space pirates and bombs and aliens and action scenes, and this show is crazy. I ended up watching it on Disney XD in Belgium. I think that's also where it aired in France, but it might have aired like anywhere else. I don't know. There's not a lot of information about this show, but apparently people have watched it because there's a lot of videos on it that just aren't like people talking about it, just episodes re-uploaded. And that's the show. If you've been subscribed to this channel for a long time, you may have remembered when I did a video on Galactic Football, like, what, 5 years ago? It was pretty negative. I don't actually remember a lot of my points. That video is long gone, forever in the ether. But I'm currently rewatching the show, and it's fun, and I think it's a really good example of soccer in animation. If you haven't noticed so far, the show goes between two art styles: a 2D art style in the regular social world, and a 3D mocap art style in the soccer world. Oh my god, that sounds like Code Lyoko. Yeah, it's Code Lyoko. And in the 3D world, it is motion captured, and that makes the soccer action just all the more exciting and kinetic. Like, there's so much emotion conveyed in these scenes because they don't talk.
Sometimes.
Like, they only talk in the social world, and like 2D characters sometimes talk from the sidelines, but the 3D characters don't speak. They may grunt, they may yell, they may like mouth something, but they're not actually saying words. And yeah, it looks really goofy at first. Like, when I first started watching, I was like, this looks ridiculous. I can never take this seriously. But when we actually get into some of the matches, the action gets super interesting because of the fluidity. The characters are doing shit that like you would have never thought of, because it can just say, oh, the flux allows them to do it. Like, we see characters doing spins, doing flips, flying into the air, like kicking balls with like the back of their heel and shit. It is absolutely insane. So I will say, if you are a fan of soccer and animation, this show is just a great example of seeing animated soccer that is really, really fun and really, really hype. Plus seeing all the different like versions of the flux, whether it's like teleportation or sonic screams or like water manipulation, it's all really fun. If there's one thing I can recommend the show for, it is just to watch these 3D animated scenes. What the show lacks is honestly in character. It's just sad because I remember the characters being so beloved to the fan base and even to me as a child. And I see why. It's a soap opera. Like, it's focused on characters and it gets you to, care about these characters and their dramatic situations. But my issue is, I don't actually care about these characters. I just kind of am interested by their dramatic situation. Do you remember what I said about Inazuma 11, where it has sort of a skill tree of relationships, where they start with Endo and then you focus on Goenji and then you focus on Somioka and then it continues and continues? Galactic Football doesn't do that. Galactic Football instead gives you the entire cast all at once and then develops all of them like one at a time. So you do a little bit of Rocket, then a little bit of Tia, then a little bit of Micro Rice, and a little bit of Jock, and then so on and so on. And while that sounds good so that you can know about all of them and can bounce between any of them at your whim, it also means that while in Inazuma 11, by episode 3, we start to care about Somioka like actually, we're gonna have Galactic Football, where halfway in the season, I still kind of don't care about Jock, who is our main character, by the way. But I'm not gonna lie, I still like Galactic Football. The first episodes are kind of rough. The voice acting, especially on the English dub, is incredibly funny. Whatever are you talking about? But if you can get past really odd voice acting and kind of mediocre, over-dramatic story writing and not great characters, and just stick around for the soccer and you're good with that, you will love this show. And if you love Galactic Football and loved it when you were a kid and still love it to this day, all the more power to you. This is no hate to you. I actually adore that, that there's still a fandom that cares about the show. And apparently there's like talks of perhaps a season 4. That sounds crazy to me, but you know what? Last time I made a video about Galactic Football, a bunch of fans showed out and showed support for the video, so if you guys are here now, like the video and comment down, do you guys want more Galactic Football videos? I mean, I'm currently on my rewatch, but, by the time I'm done, I could make like a whole video about the series. I mean, sounds interesting. Yeah, but I really like it, even though it has a lot of problems. I'm having a good time watching it. Oh, and some soccer shows I missed. Captain Tsubasa, I've never seen it. This was also popular in Belgium, but this is popular for like 40-year-olds, and I'm not 40. I'm 39. But yeah, I've heard Captain Tsubasa is really good. I've just never seen it. And another one I watched as a kid was Foot de Rue, also known as like just street soccer. I remember kind of liking this show, and when I started working on this video, I wanted to like rewatch some of it, but I saw that there was an entire new series that was like animated in 3D and it looked kind of cool, and I realized I could not watch like that and this new series and then do it justice in this video in time. So if you want to see this, please let me know. I will gladly talk about this show. If this video gets enough views, I might just make a sequel and talk about the shows I missed. So my conclusion, soccer is cool. Even as a guy who doesn't really care about sports, soccer is cool, especially in animation. And if you're like me and you're watching this video, you might not like sports. You might have a bad relationship with people that like sports, but that shouldn't scare you from giving sports stories a chance, because a lot of them actually show you that people who like sports and the people who play sports are not too different from you and me. These shows are all very different, but very similar. They're all about community, all about doing your best, and all about being the best that you possibly can. I mean, all these shows are about competition. That's why we love tournament arcs in anime. I mean, people love the tuning exams, the My Hero Academia one. People love their tournament arcs. And sports animes and sports cartoons and sports stories are essentially just huge tournament arcs. People competing. And if you want to compete, let's see who can click that subscribe button the fastest. It's about staying up to date with new videos. I upload a brand new video every single Saturday at 12:30 p.m. PST. I'm your one-stop shop for unhinged animation discussions and analysis. Storytellers, this video was very crazy, but I had a good time. I mean, I don't think it's gonna get a lot of views, but I don't really care. Let's still hit that like goal, 50 likes. I'll make more videos like this. This was honestly just purely for fun, and I hope all of you enjoyed it. If you did, comment down below your thoughts. You know, what do you think about these shows? Have you seen all 3 of them? Have you only seen 2? Have you only seen 1? Have you seen none that I put you on? Yeah, comment down your thoughts in the video. Click that like button, click that subscribe button. That's gonna be all for me. I think I'm gonna go finish rewatching Galactik Football. Just that romance between Rocket and Tia is just too gripping for my heart. Okay, anyway guys, I hope all of you have a damn good one. Peace.